sinful woman like I was. Now, this woman probably got her MS because she had left her husband, gone off with another man, and that didn't work out, and came back to the husband. She was from California, and we were up in Oregon, and she had walked all around. After I had worked with her, she walked all around the shopping center and was just elated that she wasn't dragging her foot like she usually did with MS. She called her husband to give him the good news, and he said, well, don't get your hopes up. And bingo, she was right back to dragging her foot. I don't know that she ever recovered. So anyway, that's the way the mind works. Now, another lady was not a girlfriend. She just wanted to get fixed. And I went to bed with her a couple of times, and it was a lot of work to get an orgasm out of her. We did that a couple of times. I was going with her to the beach and with 3 other women in the car, working with her in the back seat. And she got into something and started crying. And I went and did my hypnosis thing. And here was the story. She had gone on a camping trip with a man who later became her husband, and they had had sex, and she felt so guilty about it that she could not sleep the whole night long. Anyway, that came out with a bunch of tears. So when we got to the motel, I told the other women to stay out of the room. And I went to bed with her, and she just had repeated orgasms, time after time, good orgasms. And I never went to bed with her again. She got what she wanted, and that was it. She was not a girlfriend. So those are dramatic ones. Other ones are perhaps not so dramatic. The one who had laid the trip on herself about her daughter and the blood, when I went to bed with her the next time, I got, I think, 7 orgasms within an hour's time. So we will do what we can here. I've given you what the mechanism is, as best I know it. But you may have to find a hypnotist who can get you into a deeper trance than we're going to do here. What I use is called waking suggestion. You don't go into a trance. You do close your eyes and try to go into the past, which is what I want you to do now. And I'm going to go through a little ceremony which involves sounding a buzzer. And when I do that, let's hope that it disconnects some of your guilt. So if you can remember your first sex experience in which you felt guilt, or you later felt guilt, and you can bring up that feeling of guilt, this is going to work a lot better. And if you can't, well, we just do the best we can. And by the way, a lot of girls have a problem about using self-stimulation. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's our American heritage to believe all of that stuff. And so my suggestion is, if you can do it and it gives you pleasure, do it. All right, here's the suggestion. If you will close your eyes and just relax and go back, if you can, to your very first sex experience. And that could be somebody molesting you, anything where you might have felt guilty. And you may have to play this video several times for different instances in your life. But it would be an instance in which sex was painful. You may have had an infection. You may have had a guilt trip or a warning laid on you by your mother, your preacher, or something. Whatever it is that you think might have a negative effect on your ability to respond, get into it now. Get what feelings you can, and let's disconnect it. Now here the ceremony begins. When I sound the buzzer and say disconnect, it's going to disconnect you completely from all of the guilt about sex that you are feeling now. Totally disconnect all guilt about sex in your mind so that you, the woman you are today, can be totally in control of yourself. Totally in control. That's what I want for you. When I sound the buzzer and say disconnect, it's going to disconnect all of your past guilt about sex in any form. Disconnect. 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 Okay, now then, you can play this video again at different times and just see how it goes. And if it doesn't go so well, play it again. And if you need more help, you're very fixable, very fixable. You probably should see a hypnotist. I'm Lauren Parks with the Psychological Research Foundation, Incorporated.